How's it going, YouTube? I am back with a new video, and as requested by a comment in our last video, thank you very much for requesting for me to do this video, because that's why it is now this one, for a Gagaga Master Class. I've never done anything like this before, so if I kind of do it kind of differently to other people, I apologize. Never done this. Right here, we just got quickly the deck list. Just to quickly show you the deck list, it might be a little different from the video. The only thing that might be different is the hand traps. Everything else is the exact same. And also that these two sleeves are yellow because they are currently in my ABC build, so just put them over here quickly. But yeah, without further ado, we're going to get into the video. The first section here is just the intro with the deck. The second section will be introducing combos, like what are the basic bread and butter combos to get you to your end boards in the simplest ways, in the best ways, and also after that it will be what if your opponent has a certain hand trap. I'll show you the best way to play around that hand trap if you're worried that your opponent is playing it or in game 2 and know they're playing it. And also I will go through the biggest weaknesses the deck has, the biggest strengths the deck has, and what things you should really look out for when it comes to deciding what you want in your side deck, for your personal side deck, because it's up to you what you put in your side deck mainly, but that main decks there's usually a certain rhythm to them. So let's get into the video. Alright, okay, so getting into the basic bread and butter combo, the cards you're going to need for this is either Para or Pickup. So you'll need Para or Pickup in this combo. These cards are important that you get one or the other. This will get Para. It's just you need Para to do most of your combos properly and efficiently. You'll need any discard target. So we're just going to put a face down card. You need any discard target. And either Gagaga Sister or Gagaga Magician. So it's technically a 2-card / 3-card combo because you're a discard target. But the basic combo that will get you to your main end board that you do in this build is 2 cards. So you can then have any 3 cards, which is why you can play so many hand traps, since the combo is so simple. The end board is just so simple. It may just be one monster, but to be honest, Calamities is such a powerhouse right now that just having one monster is fine. So we're going to go through this. We're going to say that we got Para, Sister, and a discard target, which is any card. So with this, we're going to go Para to discard whatever card we have and search ourselves for Zubababancho, Gagaga Coat, and Gagaga Magician. When you've got a hand like this where you only have Sister and a Para, you want Coat and Magician when you search off of this. The reason for this being is if your opponent has Veiler or Imperm, and they do that to your Sister, you can still make like a monster on the board with your Gagaga Coat. So that is why you want to add Gagaga Coat, because Gagaga Coat can let you summon yourself. Well, even though getting your Sister Impermed pretty much kills your combo, so Imperm is one of the biggest targets that you want to avoid, Gagaga Coat, if you have the right card discarded, will allow you to play through that. And I'll get into that with how you want to play through those hand traps in a bit. So this is just the combo. So you normal summon your Sister. Sister can search you any Gagaga spell or trap. So here you can also get around certain negations, because if they ash this, you can add whatever you need. So if you need to summon the Magician for hand, you can get the Wind still, or if you need to revive a card, you get the Revenge instead of relying on this ash and stuff. So that's why the Zubababancho Gagaga Coat is great, because it also acts as a revenge if you have the card you need engraved. But we're going to add the Gagaga Wind. Then we're going to use the Gagaga Wind to summon the Magician. Then you change Magician's level to level 7, overlay by making them level 9 using Sister's effect to make Calamities. The simplest thing to do in the deck is make Calamities, and then sit on Calamities, because Calamities are so powerful, many decks don't get around it. But now I'm going to show you how you just extend this that little bit further. To extend the basic combo a little bit further, you'll need a specific discard target. And it's not hard to get this discard target because you do run 4 copies of it. So the combo, once again, you need to open Sister and or Magician. You need to open Pickup and or Para, and Onomatopoeia and or Reinforcement of the Army. Taking the top three, we're able to extend the combo just that little bit further. So we're going to use Pickup, which is going to get us our Topera. With our Topera, we can discard the Onomatopoeia. Now this is obviously the worst place to get ashed is when you get hit by Topera, but if you get ashed here, you can still play with at least one negate. Not great, but it's better than nothing. So here with the Para, we discard the Topia to search our Magician and our Zubaba Bancho Gagaga Coat. Now here is where we can play around with like playing through hand traps with the Sister. So with Sister, if we get ashed on the Sister so we can't get Wind or Revenge, this is why we have Zubaba Bancho Gagaga Coat and discard Onomatopoeia. This allows us to play through hand traps by, basically, this summons itself, then this can summon back the Topia, and this is your Gagaga Wind. So this is Revenge, this is Wind, allowing you to get these two monsters on board without even adding Revenge or Wind. So like here with Sister, if you don't get hand trapped, you can just add Revenge, leaving you to be able to play for your next turn. You're setting yourself up to continue playing. So here is your board right now. You've got Revenge in hand, you've got Sister on field that can now make Calamities, and you've also got 2 level 4s, so you can go into whatever you want. So here you could go into Charcanine and Dryden. It's double interruptions, and this is what is great about opening Baby Topia and why I bumped up to 3, because if you bump it up to 3, you can see it with your main combo piece more often, allowing you to play through hand traps, allowing you to make a double negate board quite easily. And the best part is that's 3 cards, so you could have 2 other cards in your hand that could be anything. They could be 2 more hand traps, or ways to play next turn, or ways to extend this combo into 3 negates. But this is the great part about opening Baby Topia. Baby Topia is the best discard target in the deck, and it's why I put Gagaga Glove to 1, because before I used to think that you should play that card at like 3 or 2 with Baby Topia at 3 or 2. So I was playing 2 Topia and 2 Dwarf Go Glove to try and extend, but that was trying to extend too much, and I found out that that combo route that I just showed you there is one of the best ones you can possibly do with Gagaga that allows you to keep playing. So with that, we'll extend the combo just that little bit further to allow 3 negates. So for this next combo, to add even further to the combo, you need to open, once again, Sister Magician, Para or Pickup, but we're just going to leave Para here, Rhoda or Topia, and Dodo Gagaga Glove. You need to open Dodo Gagaga Glove, or open it's like you need to open 2 of any of these 3. So like if you open Sister Magician, you can do this combo, Magician Glove, or just opening like this basically. This is like how to add it further, because this is another summon. So getting it to 3 negates is pushing your consistency of doing it, but it is possible, and this is how you would go about that. So to start off, once again, we're going to activate Topera, and this time we're still going to discard our Utopic Onomatopoeia to search our Zubaba Bancho Gagaga Coat and our Gagaga Magician. Then we're going to normal summon the Sister, and Sister effect is going to add Gagaga Revenge. This is pretty much, you can't get interrupted for this combo, otherwise it's not going to work, but this is still something Gagaga can do. Activate Revenge to summon your Baby Topia. And Baby Topia is now going to activate its effect to summon as many different names from your hand that are Gagaga, Gogo, Dodo, Zubaba, but you can only summon 1 of each name. So we're going to summon our Gagaga Magician, our Zubaba Bancho Gagaga Coat and our Dodo Dwarf Gagaga Glove. Now we can go into Gagaga Sister and Magician to make our Calamities. So we already have our big boy on board. Yes, Nibiru will hurt here. For the next part, we're going to overlay Babytopia and Dodo Dwarf Gagaga Glove to summon anything you want. I would personally like either go for a negate or go for drawing cards, because if you draw some cards you can get some advantage. But here I would go draw cards, so you can go draw some cards. Even though you skip your next draw phase, you can draw 2 cards and discard 1, so you'd get another card in hand. So we're just going to actually see what those are, because it was a shuffled deck. And we're going to keep them perm. Then we get to go Gagaga Coat to revive Babytopia, but because we control the Dodo Dwarf Gagaga Glove, we can also summon we control the Go-Go since Topia is one, we can summon it back, but we're just going to leave it there. And then we can once again go into our Sharkanine Dryden. So it's 2 monster negates, and then you can draw into more negates. Or you could just change this into any other thing, like you could make it Giant Hand or something, or just Dweller. I personally just like going for the draws. This is like just how you push that combo just a little bit further and get an extra card in the hand where you wouldn't have that card. I personally prefer the combo I showed you before because it's safer. It gets you revenge to play next turn, so you're guaranteed to play next turn, and it just allows you to play more, safely and more of a grind game. This deck can really play a really great grind game. So next, going to get into this deck's biggest weaknesses. Gagaga is obviously not tier 1, tier 2, or 3, it's a rogue deck. So oftentimes rogue decks very much lose to hand traps, and this is still the case with Gagaga. And the hand traps that I personally think really damage this deck is Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, Infinite Impermanence, Effect Veiler since it is Impermanence, and Droll and Lockbird. The reason that I think these cards hit it so well is purely because Gagaga does love to rely on its initial adding. There is ways to play around them though. Obviously, doing the generic play Called by the Grave is the first main out to outing 3 of these hand traps. Imperm is still an issue though, but we obviously still play Called by the Grave because if you see it and it helps you continue, that's great. If you don't need it, it's another interruption. So that is your first thing I recommend when coming to build your Gagaga deck, that you play play Called by the Grave to stop your things, even though Infinite Impermanence still hurts. There is different ways to play Gagaga though that gets around these hand traps, and I'll go through each hand trap specifically to show how you play around each one. We're going to start off with Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. So say for example you get ashed on your sister, so your hand is pretty good, I'm gonna just say, because like this deck's actually really consistent. You normal summon sister and you activate the effect to search Gagaga Wind or Gagaga Revenge, and they just go, yeah, that's continuing your combo there. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. This is why we go Onomatopera to get Zubaba Bancho Gagaga Coat to our hand, and then Gagaga Magician. Because if we add these two to our hand, and we only got Ash Blossomed here, we can then special summon the Gagaga Coat to the field and make a rank 6. Even though our boards can be a lot better, and this isn't a strong board, it is better than nothing. And when playing something like Gagaga, you're going to have to put up with the fact that this deck is going to struggle against hand traps, but at least there are ways to make something and like probably live a turn, whereas you used to just get Ash Blossomed and be left with Sister on board. Like in the old days of playing Gagaga, it was like normal summon Sister, Ash, end turn. And now it's like, okay, normal summon Sister, Ash, okay, Gagaga Coat, summon Norito, or if you want, you can play Photon Strike Bouncer, or or any rank 6 you want to play. But this now lets you play further. Thank you for Zubaba Bancho Co to be a thing. The next hand trap we'll go over will be Droll and Lockbird. Droll and Lockbird really hurts the deck purely because we search more than once, and as everyone knows, Droll is a pain when it comes to any deck that searches. But the ways around it is the order that you do your searching in. If you have cards in your hand to play, so for example you opened Sister and a Magician, you have a normal summon, get Wind, summon Calamities. So don't, because you just have Parry, like, ooh, I can add 2 cards. I'm going to activate Para first. Okay, so add your coat, add your Onomatopoeia, Droll. Well, yeah, you can Onomatopoeia summon these cards from your hand, well, mainly these, but you're not going to be able to make Calamities because of the fact that this will be stuck in your hand, or if you summon Sister instead, Magician stuck in your hand. It's because you didn't have the Wind. So if you end up opening like Zubaba Bancho Gagaga Coat, or opening Magician or something, you want to get those on board first. So like, instead you'll go normal summon Sister if you have Magician in your hand, activate effect, search your deck for Gagaga Wind. Now your opponent drolls, well it's like, okay, well I can't use my Para anymore, my Para is dead, but that doesn't matter, I'm going to activate Wind and make Calamities. And it's just better to play the deck in just a different manner than just spam out Big Search Boy first. It's obviously not easy if you, to do, predict if your opponent has it, but if you pay attention to the format and say like last format with Dragon Link, where Droll was absolutely used all the time, you would always have to play the deck like this. If you didn't play like this, you're just going to get drolled right off the bat, your pair is going to get drolled, you're not going to be able to play the game properly, and you're just SOL really. The next hand trap we'll go over is Veiler. This one's a bit harder to get round. Now with Veiler, Veiler is basically impermanent, so we'll treat this as a double sort of, lesson here. Sister is your main target they're going to go for when you normal summon something that searches. It's like, yeah, Imperm or Veiler that. Normal summons are really good to hit right now, that's why Solemn Strike is played a lot. So yeah, these are going to hurt way more than any other hand trap, I'd say. Because there's only one real big way to get around it. Call by the Grave is the obvious one. But if you don't have Call by the Grave, you need to specifically open Pickup or Para, so you have Para, and Utopic Onomatopoeia. That is purely because if you open this, you go normal summon Sister, add, and they go Veiler or Imperm. You can then Para, discard the Topia, add the Magician, add the Zubaba Bancho Gagaga Coat, and because you control a Gagaga monster, you can now use the Gagaga Coat to summon, get the Topia will get the Magician. And even though Sister cannot use her effect to change level anymore, that's okay. Like, we will just need to leave her on board, unfortunately. Or we just don't summon the Magician, we leave Magician for next turn. But here you can make Baguska, that puts the Sister in defense. I personally think that's the best option. Or you go Dweller if Dweller's like detrimental against the opponent. So if they open Imperm or Veiler, your best bet is to hope or have the cards to get Topia in hand to discard off of Para. This deck obviously is going to lose to multiple hand traps. It is a rogue deck. I don't think you can really play through 2 hand traps unless you open Called By. Because if your Topera gets ashed, your Gaga Sister gets Veilered, you have to open the nuts to play through that. And if you don't, well, You would so to get through that, if you're gonna get double hand traps, we're gonna go through that. Say if they have Imperm and Ash in their hand, which is obviously possible and highly likely, you could get Gagaga Sister, Para. You would need these 4 cards basically, because you could go Normal Summon Sister, effect add, Ash Blossom, Imperm. So we Imperm that. Then we can go activate Para, discard Onomatopia, Ash. So we don't get our add. Well, we still have Coat, Summon, make Baguska. You're going to need specific hands to get around hand traps. That is the reason this deck's rogue, because it's not like other decks that are meta right now where they can just go, hey, I have any card in my deck, I can play through hand traps. But there are ways around it. You just need to find them and draw good, unfortunately. That's why we play Desires, that's why we play Rhoda, that's why we play all the cards that try and get these good combo openers to our hand. So like Para and Sister and Topia are really good things to open, so is Coat. And that's why we played the Rhoda, because the Rhoda can get these two, the pickup can get this and Topia, so the deck has the consistency to open these cards quite often in the right combinations. You're just not going to always get that, so be prepared when playing Gagaga. It's gonna lose to certain hand traps. But these are probably the main ones to look out for, because there are ways to play around Nibiru quite easily, which is on your 3rd summon, right off the bat, go Calamities, then use Calamities effect to call Light, and then continue your combo. I do that to Joey a lot when he's playing his Goku deck. His Goku deck purely goes second, and so he runs Nibiru in the main, and he kept Nibiruing me, so I ended up adapting and started to go Calamities on my 3rd summon, and stop him using Light Monster effects, and that worked really well. So that is honestly how I would play through certain hand traps. I think for the last bit of this video, I'm going to just do about 4 or 5 random test hands. I think 4 or 5 random test hands will prove this deck's relative consistency in an okay manner, and it also won't make the video too long. I don't want this to be really hard to digest, especially since I'm a small YouTuber and not many people are going to want to hear me ramble that much, but here we go. So, first test hand, we're going to cut the deck and start with our first test hand. So, Onomatopia. Double or nothing. We opened a Garnet. Gagaga Revenge. Infinite Impermanence. DD Crow. We just opened a brick. So, hand 1 out of however many we do is a brick. That is rather unfortunate, but it happens. You play Garnets. Bricks are bound to happen, and I'm not going to edit that out to fake that the deck's going to be super, always 100% consistent, because that's not realistic, and I don't want you going into building Gagaga, learning how to play Gaga, thinking that I'm going to always open amazing, because that's not the case. It's a rogue deck, it's going to have its flaws, but it also has its amazing strengths, and that's the best part about it, is it can do stuff really well, and it's always funny to beat someone with Gagaga. The next hand, Imperm. Onomata Pickup, already better. Onomata Para, amazing. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, Zubaba Bancho, Gagaga Coat. This hand's actually really, really good. So we can start off with Pickup. To activate the effect to add any Onomat card to our hand, we're going to add Onomatopia. Next, we're going to activate Para to discard the Topia. And we'll add Gagaga Sister. Fortunately, we don't get Calamities in this combo. And we're going to add Dodo Dwarf Gagaga Glove. Next, we're going to Normal Summon Sister effect. We're going to add Gagaga Revenge. We're going to use Zubaba Bancho Gagaga Coat to special summon itself. Then activate Gagaga Revenge, summon back Utopic Onomatopoeia. Use Utopic Onomatopoeia to summon the Dodo Dwarf Gagaga Glove. Actually, we could just let Onomatopoeia summon the Gagaga Coat. Next, we'll activate Onomata Pickup to target Gagaga Sister and make her level 4. This will allow us to go into our rank 8 if we want, or just another rank 4. This pickup can target the other ones and make sister level 4. So we'll do that just so we can make another level 4. Go into these two. These will make... we're gonna make our Dagaras just to get some draws. And activate Rhoda. This is where we could get a second Zubaba Bunch of Gagaga coat. So yeah, definitely don't shotgun the Gagaga coat effect. Use the onomatopoeia. We're gonna just say that I didn't use the Gagaga coat effect purely because there was no need to. So here we can then use Zubaba Bancho Gagaga coat to special summon back onomatopoeia. Because it classes as all the names, our Goga glove can come back, but we banish when it leaves the field. We can now overlay our onomatopoeia to summon Zodiac Charcanine into Dryden, and then we can go into Abyss Dweller. So even though we don't make Calamities, we make Abyss Dweller and Dryden, we have Imperm to set as well, and Ash Blossom. So it's 4 interruptions, which isn't bad. And then we can play next turn with the Gagaga coat in our hand, even if we can't draw, because we just need to make sure we detach the Topia. And then next turn we can just go normal summon, revive Topia, make Utopia double OTK. So that was actually a really nice hand. Even though we don't make Calamities, you can still make a lot of things. Obviously I'm only doing these uninterrupted. I've shown you how hand traps can affect the deck. I just want to show you the relative consistency of it. Test hand 3. So we had a brick first one, we had a pretty good one then. So this is the third test hand that we're doing. Three, 4, 5. So we get Rhoda, pickup, still no Magician. So there's going to be some luck based with the adding, well, the drawing off of desires. But we're going to do all our searching first. Get the Para, discard the Topia, get the Sister, get the Gagaga coat. And then we're going to Desires here. So we just need to hope that we draw some good cards. I'm going to actually power shuffle a little bit. So just want to even out the deck. I don't usually do this when I Desires. When you power shuffle, make sure you do it in odd numbers. It just makes the randomization better, because if you do it in even, you can just rearrange the deck on accident in an order that you don't want it to be in or do want it to be in. So just make sure you do it in odds. I've been accused of cheating because I didn't do it in odds and lost a round because of it. So we're going to banish off Desires. Draw 2. So we didn't get the Magician, so there's no Calamities this combo. You do need the Magician in order to make Calamities, unfortunately. That's why you went 3, because if you see it, that's great. But again, isn't the worst hand in the world. So we're going to Gagaga Sister, effect, search Revenge. Then we're going to activate Revenge, summon the Topia, effect Topia summon, effective coat summon to get 2 on board. Yeah, pickup should be there. Pick up, make the Sister level 4, make 2 level 4s, the Charcanine Dryden and the Dweller. Set. So you got Pop, Graveyard Negations, Book of Moon, Imperm, and Ash. So again, not bad. It's still a good board. Like, yeah, will really hurt if we get Ashton stuff, but that's just Yu-Gi-Oh! But this deck can be really, really impressive and can do some really powerful boards, and can play through some hand traps as I've shown. So I'll do one more test hand. This is test hand 5, and I think that'll be the video. So test hand 5. Let's cut the deck. Let's remove 3 cards from the top, just for randomness. Then we're gonna draw. It's good that we open Sister, because if you open Sister, you can then search the Magician. Opening double Ash kind of sucks. But we're gonna go search Para. Para will discard one of the dead Ash. Search the Magician, search the coat. Or we can normal summon the Sister first. We'll normal summon Sister first, just to get that negation out of the way. We're going to search Revenge. No, we need to search Wind, because we don't have Topia. Yeah, we'll search Wind. Then we'll activate the Desires. See what we got here. Nothing that really hurts. We've already used Paras, so we don't need them anymore. Draw 2. Getting pickup. Well, Rhoda. Rhoda will do. So we'll use Rhoda. We'll get Utopia. Gagaga win the Topia. Topia these 2 out. Then we'll change level 7, get the Calamities. So now 9s, get the Calamities, overlay these 2, get Weller or Chuckanine, and Dryden. So Ash, Chuckanine, Dryden. Yeah, and a pickup so we can search next turn. See, so keep on playing. Got 3 big interruptions. The deck is pretty damn strong, and Gagaga deserves a little bit more love than what it gets. I hope that this proves that there is some power to Gagaga. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. This has been rather interesting to make. I've never made anything like this before. I will go into one more thing before the video ends. When making a side deck for this deck, when I came into the hand trap thing, I forgot to mention it, but you should side for those things that are really hard against your deck, especially Solemn Strike. If the opponent's playing a trap deck, make sure you side back row removal. That's why I side it. I don't think you should main it, because it's just wasted space inside the deck. That since you're going first, you're aiming to go first, so you shouldn't put things that are mainly for going second in your deck, in my opinion. I personally put those kind of things inside. So yeah, that's just all I wanted to mention about the side deck building. Just side for things that really struggle, that Gagaga really struggle against. Just side for those kind of things. So Ash Blossom, Imperm, Veiler, and all that. And then things that stop your summon. Just if you get a side deck that bases around that and also plays around the current meta, you'll be pretty good with your Gagaga deck. So if you enjoyed this video, I made my last video was an ABC deck profile. I rather love my ABC deck. It's actually been super fun. So that will be down in the corner somewhere. It'll be down here. And if you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a like, maybe stick around for some more. We just recently got back to 200 subscribers because I hit 200 subscribers before I took my break, and then I lost 3 subscribers in the break, and now I've come back to 200 subscribers. So thank you guys so much for subscribing, coming and viewing the videos. It's really appreciated. My next video, I'm thinking of doing a dueling video on Dueling Book. If there's any interest in that, please let me know in the comments, because I would love to know which deck you want me to play on Dueling Book for a little. I am quite nervous on Dueling Book, so that this video may or may not happen, depending, because I just have a lot of social anxiety. But yeah, if you want to see those videos, just let me know. If you have any ideas for what I could do with my Gagaga deck or my ABC deck, I'll try those too. But thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.